Yes! We are back once more with some chilled out music, which I'm gonna turn down a bit because otherwise I can't hear anything anymore. And today I plan on working at least out the basics of a fun little RPG thing that I had in mind. I think the audio might be a bit too loud. Wait. Is the audio fine like this? I hope so. Well, first of all, one little warning. It might suddenly happen that I just need to run away and you'd be left with this beautiful chair over here. Cause apparently there's a package gonna be delivered today and there's no one else in the house but me. And I guess that I'm sort of on the top floor of a building, so I don't know how long it's gonna take before I take the package, come back, everything like that. So if I keep it in mind, I'll put on the pause screen. If I don't keep it in mind, then you'll just have to listen to some cool ass music while watching that chair. We'll see. Hello? Camera. Focus. Focus. Not the hands, the face. Yes, there, thank you. But well, that's something that we'll have to see when it gets there. You'll probably hear the bell, since it's almost straight in front of my door. Just to make sure that I can hear it. But yeah, game design! Ha! Let's get to that shit. So, for all of you / some of you that ever played stuff like Dungeons & Dragons and Dungeon World or whatever, I mean, we all kind of know that I like that shit. Hey, weird. Maybe that's the reason why you can roll dice in my chat. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, I like those kind of games, but I've always been thinking that the D20 system is kind of stupid. Because most of the time when I make an adventure, it's because that adventure is probably bad in some stuff, but really good at some other stuff. So I would say, for example, I make a ranger and I start tracking a beast through the wilderness that's leaving obvious tracks that are easy to follow, and I roll a natural one, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing a stupid. Nobody likes doing a stupid. At least I don't like doing a stupid, and I think there's a lot of other people that also don't like doing a stupid. So how do we combat that? Well, one of the biggest problems with most of the systems like Dungeons & Dragons and Pathfinder, GURPS, Call of Cthulhu, any other D20 system that I can't get my mind on right now, is that the D20 is a very chaotic thing to use. You can get up to 1 to 20 to whatever, so wherever you set your DC, there's almost always a chance of failure, unless you make it so that there's no chance of failure at all. Because some games don't do the fumble on a 1. For example, D&D 5e, I believe, make sure that if you roll a 1 on a skill check, it's still succeeding if you just roll high enough. If your modifier is high enough. And I know that there's a few rules in, I believe, the DMG about it, about how you can, well, it's empty booze. So no, not entirely, the booze is actually over there. Still need to get rid of that. But yeah, the high chaos often leaves me when I'm playing, especially since I have bad dice luck, feeling like I can't do anything. And I'm just being a stupid ass motherfucker that shouldn't be there. So how do we remove that chaos, in a way? I know that there's games, for example, like Powered by the Apocalypse and Blades in the Dark and things like that have different dice systems, like the D6s, for example, which have a way lower chance of failure. Due to their dice only having 6 numbers instead of 20. So, in all essence, there's always a 33% chance to get any of the sides instead of a 5% chance. And 33, as we can all do the math, is way higher. I can even, if you want me to, show you the math via this handy dandy website that I found. Wait, let me switch over to it. Transition, there we go. This is the website called Any Dice. This website is very, very easy to find out what your chances are at success. For example, if we play any Powered by the Apocalypse game, any 7 or higher is a success. And that's without modifiers. So if we, if I remember correctly how to do this, output 2d6 And I believe it's then higher than 7. No, yeah, I'm doing this wrong. I'm always doing this wrong. Let's see. Let's just put the documentation here just to be sure. The basics. La 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 la. Equals greater. I don't even have to do it this way. Wait. I'm doing this the horrible wrong way around. Wait. 2d6. Calculate. At most. So, let's see. No, wait, I'm doing... Nah! I'm horrible at this. It is supposed to be greater than 6. Because 7 then counts, I believe. Yeah. So, on the 2d6, the chance that you roll higher than 6 is 58.33%. That is a higher chance than that you have a chance of failure. Great! This shows that whatever you do, you almost always will get a success unless something goes wrong. Now, to be fair, on Powered by the Apocalypse, you only have a full success by 10, which is only an 8.3%. Actually, I should put 9 then, I believe. I don't know if I'm doing it right. I believe it's like this, yeah. So you only have a 16.2% of actually getting a full success. But that's kind of how the game is designed, because it wants you to have the partial success so we can set up the fiction to do something else again. However, if we look at a 1d20, and if we just set the most basic of DCs, because if I take a look at the Dungeon Master Guide, over here. According to that one, if you look up the right thing here, let me just quickly find where it is. 235. That's treasure. I don't need treasure. Bum 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 bum. Where is my page with the DCs? God damn it. I knew there was a page for this. I have seen it. But where is it? Isn't it Player's Handbook? None of you play D&D, do you? None of you know. I think it might be... Yeah, I think it might be in the Player's Handbook. Scheiße! Yeah. Let me get the other book. Where are you, damn it? I should know these books better. Those are spells. We don't want spells, we don't use those. It's combat. Rest. Food and water. La 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 la. These are... Yes! There we go! I found it! So, according to D&D, when we look at ability checks, a DC 5 is very easy, DC 10 is easy, DC 15 is medium, 20 is hard, 25 is very hard, and nearly impossible is 30. So we could say that an average DC, which is a medium one, is 15 then. Since that is most often the times where you need to roll. Because for an easy and a very easy check, most often in the game we don't make you roll unless there's something very dangerously happening. Yeah, very dangerous happening. So if we then put in 14 here to calculate any chance higher than 15, we see that we only have a 30% chance of success. This is obviously offset by the amount of modifiers you have, but just the base chance of success is already so much lower than it is in, for example, a game like Powered by the Apocalypse. But then I got to say that I feel even then Power of the Apocalypse is not enough. Why, oh why, would we go through all of the hassle and stuff like that with rolling the dice and still not know for certain if we can make a success or not? to me, I want to make a game where I know for certain I can succeed in this. It just might cost me another success later on. It's more like a betting system. If any of you have ever seen, heard or read anything of Dogs in the Vineyard, it's something along those lines. But even there, because you're using the dice and things like that, there's a high chance that you just roll low and, well, good luck with that. So what do I want to do to get past that problem? We use a different medium. Obviously all of you already knew that we were getting there. How can you hear my Discord? My Discord is muted. My Discord is muted. You cannot hear my Discord. Sorry, Daryl, for showing your chat. I didn't know that you were up. There is no blim. Everything's muted. It's a blim on your side, damn it. But yeah, all of you obviously already saw this coming because it's kind of in the title. Who would have known? But yeah, I'm thinking about creating a form of a deck building RPG where you build a deck now where your powers are basically the amount of cards you get. For example, if you have a body stat of 6, then in your deck you will have 6 body cards. And if you have a guile of 2, then in your deck you'll have 2 guile cards. Blah 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 blah. And with that, we'll work with a system where your HP is tied to your whole deck. So if you have a full deck, you're full HP. If a monster hits you, you need to mill a card from your deck. You need to put it away, basically. It's not there anymore. So the more you get hurt, the less cards you have. So the less things you have to play with. And obviously there will be abilities which let you, well, which force you to put away cards from your deck, because you expend some energy doing them. In the same way, your level will be the amount of cards you can hold in your hand. I was thinking to start off with for example, like starting off with 5 cards, and then per level you get like 1 card extra or something, which shows you the amount of stuff you can do in a certain circumstance. It shows you your ability because you're getting better at being versatile and, for example, having more cards to spend on things. But yeah, that's the basis that I'm gonna be working with. Some inspiration from this comes from the Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories ID. Basically, the moment I thought of using cards, that's the first thing that came into my head, so I'm taking some heavy inspiration from that. And what we're gonna do today is basically work on that. So what do you think? Let's see. Let me get some stuff while I'm waiting for an answer. Because I already wrote down a little bit about this, but it was very hastily written down and wasn't too much in it. So that's what we're gonna do today mostly, write down all the basic things that we're gonna want to work with. So let's open up this design document and let's get you peeps all joining us in there. There we go. Let's set this up. So, let's start off with some nice and easy title. Deck Building RPG. Whoop. If at any point, by the way, the audio is off, let me know, because I can always put the volume of the music up or put my volume down or whatever. Premise, well, actually, main concept. Build an RPG system where you do start by spending cards. Higher your level, the easier it is to make combinations and to fill out your deck. As you can see, I'm horrible at typing. But we'll just have to take that in stride. I'm sorry for that. So, let's see. Your main resource is your deck. Let's see. Deck. Blah. Your deck is tied to your level and your HP. Your stats, not level. Stats. HP here being your energy. Yeah, it's kind of spending cards from your deck and spending cards from your hand. Because what I'm thinking of is every time you... Basically, let me just get some cards here. Open. There we go. By the way, this is not a plug. I do not even like Heineken beer. This is just the card deck that was closest by. Obviously, by the way, at some point I'll be wanting to design my own cards because I'm not gonna actually straight up use just normal cards like this. This is just an easy start and just something to work with. But yeah, what we'll do is normally, for example, this could be the size of your deck because you're, I don't know, level 5 or something. And because you're level 5, you get to hold a lot more cards in your hand as well. Like this. For example, this, because I have so many cards in my hand, I have way more chances of making good combinations of things like that than, for example, if I were level 2, where I might only have this amount of cards, for example. And I use these combinations to do things. For example, if there's a large... words are very hard. If there's a massive gate that I try and open and I'm a barbarian, I want to probably spend a lot of body cards. Maybe I need to make a... let's just say 13-point DC, for lack of better words, to open that gate. So then I can grab, for example, a 10 out of my hand, and the 2, and the 7 I mean, because the 2 would be 12 and it wouldn't make that. So I can, for example, grab these 2, and let's just think they're both body cards, and with that I could open that gate. Then these are put away to the side, because these are just used. Once all my cards in my deck are used, I just get to grab all of them, reshuffle them, put them back downwards facing like a normal deck, but the top card gets removed from play. This is showing that you do not have infinite resources. At some point you're just tired. And you keep on going like that, so if you do a lot of things on a day, at some point you'll only have like 3 or 4 cards left. And if you have no cards left anymore, that's why you just get knocked out. We could make a point where if you have no cards left, and your last card, for example, is a 0, that's where you die. It's things we can work with. But that's all for later when we start going way more in depth into what we're trying to do. So first off, we have your deck. Your HP here being your energy for the day. Not necessarily. I'm almost whore. Necessarily. Or something. Probably wrong. Yeah, there we go. Ah! Wrong button. Come on. Necessarily. Thank you. For now, we're not gonna notice any grammar shit because I'm horrible at those things, and this is just a little design document for myself. Once we get things more on paper and we know better what we're doing, that's when we're gonna try and make proper sentences and shit like that. Not necessarily your actual health. And let's just put a comment here that might make a different discard pool for wounds harder to gain those cards. So that's something that might be interesting, where basically once you get wounded by something, maybe those cards go into a different discard pile and you actually need to spend time to regain those instead of just regaining them the next day. Having a more... having a more long-lasting health system, basically. Because just HP is kind of boring and it's kind of weird that you get your HP back. Thinking that its energy works a lot better, and if your energy is gone, you just pass out, basically. And actual wounds need to be healed and tended to before you get them back. So it takes some time before you get those cards back into your deck. So basically, then every day, instead of making your normal deck, you make your deck and then you shovel it. And for example, if you have 2 wounds, you just remove 2 cards straight up at the beginning of the day or something, until you've regained those, until you've healed those wounds. Let's see. Your deck is built up from your stats, picking cards from the pool that are... how am I so horrible at writing? Jesus. Picking cards from the pool that are open to everyone. Because I think it's best to just have a pretty large deck that everybody plays from. And at the beginning of the day, everybody takes their cards. And then what's left is basically the GM's pool. Might need to rethink that, because I don't know if you'll have enough cards for the GM then at some point. Because if they're all higher level, all are gonna use more cards, things like that. But yeah. So, the higher your number is in a stat, the higher the chances are that you'll get good cards. Yay, because that's what we want. Your entire deck basically, let's retry that, basically is your energy for the day. Once you have no more cards, you pass out. And are out of the game until the next scene starts. Let's see. Pass out together with no more cards, so we know what that part is about. So let's see what these stats are gonna be, right? Let's see. Stats. Because I already thought a little bit about these, because I like the ID from the fate system, where you have these fate points that go in between the players and the GM. Where you give the players a free pass to do something cool by using their fate points, getting bonuses on the shit and things like that. But once you use them, they basically just go to the GM for him to do, or her, or them, whatever. For them to do bad stuff to the players again. So it's a nice little economy system where you keep the forces of the universe basically flowing in between the players and the GM. So I was thinking, we can do the same thing for our game, where we basically have a Destiny deck. And the Destiny deck are created of these Joker cards, for now at least, which are basically any card you need. You got 10 power cards left, and you need to use a little bit more to open that door? Sure! Grab one of the Destiny cards. Just don't forget you give them to the GM, and the GM can use them for his shit. Making, for example, a higher DC for you. Things like that. So yeah, that's something that we need to write down before we do this. Destiny deck. The Destiny deck is a resource of neutral cards for everyone to use. a Destiny card. The Destiny cared for me. The Destiny card is a blank / Joker card that can be used as a substitute. Substitute. Just do my work for me. There we go. Do my work for me. I think I did it right the first time, actually. Yay! Let's make this text a little bigger. Maybe that makes it easier on me. For any card the players need. However, once it's used, it goes to the GM. Mwahaha. So let's go back to those stats. I was thinking of having 3 main stats, because I think you don't need much more than a stat for physical strength, a stat for mental strength, and a stat for quickness. Quickness can substitute basically for both the mind and the body, wherever you want to be quick instead of strong. Be that in a situation where you need to be quick and outthink your enemies, or be that a situation where you literally just want to run away from someone, or when you want to do something acrobatic, things like that. That's all based on quickness. So I was thinking of using the following stats. We have power. Let's make it nice and neat like that. The main physical force stats. This shows your strength, endurance, and I don't know, constitution? Sure. So in case of, for example, opening a door that I said before, you'll use your power to open a door, most probably, unless you want to lockpick the door, where you probably use your quickness. But in case of, for example, taking in poison, you're also going to need to use power cards to make sure that the effect of the poison doesn't happen. Poison is a notorious word in my vocabulary. I never can pronounce it right. So yeah, if you're, for example, a magey guy who thought like, well, I'm gonna use magic for everything, and you actually get some poison in you, you're probably gonna be fucked because you don't have that many power cards. And that's gonna be fun. So yeah. So as a mage guy, never drink poison. It's not gonna be good for you. Unless you give me a very good reason why your magic can be quick enough to actually stop the poison or something, I don't know. But then you're probably gonna need to spend more magic cards to do the same thing as that you need to do less cards with for power. Well, yeah. In the end, a lot of this also just needs to be played to know what the problems are gonna be, things like that. So we'll have to see how it works after some nice little playtesting. Oh my, Daryl. Oh my. Your body is magic, you say? But what about your mind? But yeah. Next that I was thinking of, Guile. Let's see. I need to do that. Now, Guile, when we look it up... oh wait, actually don't need to do it there. I believe there's actually an option for... where's the help? Define. There we go. Guile. So last time I checked it, Guile is your sly or cunning or intelligence. So I thought, that is actually a pretty nice... I didn't want to use cunning. I don't know why. Guile was a nice little neat way to go about the power of the mind. It's a bit more slight in its actual force or willingness. But will is a little bit too... I don't know. Normal. Everybody uses will. It's like, maybe there's not a nice one in here. Let's see. Cunning, craftiness, craft, artfulness, art, artifice, willness, slyness, deviousness, shrewdness, canniness, ingenuity, wiles, ploys, schemes, subterfuge, ruses, deception, deceit, duplicity. Because I kind of like the way that most of the time when you get power by being smart, it's never because you're nice. It's either because you're fucking frivolous as all hell and you are basically the guy that believes that God is doing everything right and you cannot see any wrong in his workings and shit like that. Which is more of a forceful kind of thing than a guile is, but it's not a good thing as well, because you're just basically blind to the world around you because someone says it's supposed to be that way. Which is stupid. So that's a way to get your magic through the faith way and things like that. But that's still not a good thing. And the other one, by getting magic through being smart, it's most often still trying to get power. For whatever reason it is, it's often trying to get power to be most often standing above someone else or to get something done which normally shouldn't be done. So it's never a good thing. So I don't want the term for this to necessarily be good. It's your underhanded method to get you out of trouble by being smart instead of powerful. Because in the end of the day, adventurers and whatever the setting is going to be, because this can probably also quite easily be adjusted to, for example, sci-fi and shit like that. But whatever you do, it's most often not something used for the good of someone else. It's used for the good of yourself. So I don't want to use something valorous like willpower or wisdom. Because that's not what it's about. It's about using the mind to help yourself, not someone else. So those are one of the reasons why I came to guile at some point. So yeah, this, stop that. The main mental stats. This shows your cunning and force of mind. Cunning, force of mind. Let's see some other things. Force and sharpness. Main magical stats. Yeah, I need to find some better ways to describe this at some point, but I know what it's about at least right now, so that's the main thing. There we go. Then we have the next one, which is the one that I talked about already, quickness and things like that. So I think swiftness might be a nice term. Because it slightly goes away from just being quick. It's more the swift and deft movements that you also put in there. So let's put it in the right way of formatting. Oh, caps lock still on. The main. Stop that. Quickness, stats, speed is quickness of mind, move or body. So it basically means that you can think fast, move fast, or be very quick with your hands or things like that. This also includes things such as agility and aim. Everyone can aim while taking hours. Doing it fast enough to be useful is something else, though. So one of the things I often do while I'm running a game is if someone is trying to shoot an arrow at someone and they have like 10 minutes to aim that thing and they're barely moving, I'm like, sure, you just hit, it's fine. We don't need to worry about that. You are good enough at what you do, especially if you're a ranger, for example, things like that, you don't need to roll on that. Swiftness here, same with agility, it's not about being capable of aiming at someone, it's about being capable of aiming at someone while they're moving, while things need to be done quick. You only, for example, in a Pathfinder, in a D&D turn, you only have 6 seconds to do something, and part of that is walking or whatever else. So basically you need to have a shot prepared in 3 seconds and have it hit him. So that's less than a second to actually aim. So that, in my opinion at least, fully falls under being swift. Let's see. Now one other stat that I want for people to make sure that they have a chance of doing other stuff that they're normally not good at. For example, having a mage at least, letting them have some power cards, things like that, is having a fate stat. So let's type this out. Fate. I cannot type. Fate. Stop it with me. And like that. This is the amount. God damn it. This is the amount the universe likes you. So don't keep it too low. So I'm not sure if we want this to be a stat where all the cards basically just get randomized and you just pick the amount of fates that you have. So for example, you have the power, guile and swiftness. You put those 3 together, shuffle them, and then you pick however many cards you're allowed to pick. Or if it's just you get to pick a certain amount of cards from any deck you want. And I think it's going to be the second one, because one of the main things was giving you the option to feel good about your actions and give you the chance to do whatever you need to do. So yeah, I think it's picking any card from any... Wait, there's better writing for this. You get to pick any type of card per point in this stat. There we go. So if you have, for example, 4 fate, you get to pick 4 cards from whatever stack you want. Let's just comment this, just in case. Maybe make this more random later. Comment, and then let's see. The GM can also use this to screw you over. If you have e.g. Exceptionally low fate. Because fuck you, the gods don't care anymore. If you want to spend extra points to put into power, for example, and maybe you want to make a rule that your fate needs to, you need to put, for example, 2 points into fate to get 1 card of it or something, that, because otherwise everybody would just put all their points in fate. So we need to think about how these stats are created at some point. Okay. Stop that. Ignore all. Ignore. Okay, so those are your stats. The points you have in any stats are used to build your deck. Let's make an example. For example, power. Oh, I cannot type. Power, guile, swiftness, fate. There we go. Let's say this is a barbarian, so he has 8 power. He has 1 guile, because he's a stupid ass motherfucker. And then he has 4 swiftness. And maybe 2 fate, which is pretty low, I think. Well, it's probably kind of normal. We'll have to see. So let's see that those are his stats. With that, with this, the player has a deck of 8, 9, 13, 15 cards. Of 15 cards. Let's see. So I guess we need to make a section about the cards themselves. Let's see. The cards. The cards. The cards. The cards will tell. The past, the present, and the future as well. What are the cards all about? In a normal game, there's a certain amount of cards that come with them. Let's just give arbitrary numbers for now. Power cards. Actually make a list out of this. Blank, blank, powder cards. Yes! Someone got the reference. Yes! Thank you, Daryl. Certain number of power cards, some number of guile cards. Certain number of thinking is hard. Swiftness. Jesus, why didn't I get to that? Swiftness cards. There we go. And then a way lower number, at least, of Destiny cards. Destinity. I'm great at writing. As said before, power cards. These cards go from 0 to 9. And I want to keep 0 in there because I think that 0 is going to have something special, like maybe a block or something. These cards go from 0 to 9 and are, I don't know, red in color. Let's make you nice and red. normal cards. Actually, normal cards. Red, blue, and green. Because why not go for the obvious? People know these colors and affordance is a thing. So blue and green. Let's see. Let's just make you black. Come on. Whoop. These cards are red, blue, and green color for power, guile, and swiftness. Each card shows as a certain verve to show what you can do. Each card's verve is used in spending them on making checks. Be it combat, social, or whatever other challenge. So one of the main things about this as well is I don't plan on actually creating a whole combat system. I plan on creating a challenge system. That challenge might be some moment where people are talking. That challenge might also be indeed a fight. That challenge might even be just some existentialism that people need to get out of. Whatever that challenge you want to make or create, it's probably going to use the same system for all of it. There's going to be the GM on one side, playing as the challenge, whatever that challenge might be, and using actions that he's allowed to make, versus the players trying to overcome that challenge. If that is a goblin, then a goblin maybe gets a few swiftness cards to try and attack you with, and might have a few special abilities in which it can try and remove cards from you. If that is a social encounter, you can still, for example, use power cards, because power cards can then, for example, be used for intimidation, things like that, while guile can be used to do science talk, to get people to do things. And swiftness can be used to get people off track of what you were originally talking about, making a bluff, for example, or diverting someone's attention. Things like that. So these cards are supposed to be multifunctional for whatever situation you're in. And obviously in a social encounter, power cards are going to be less useful most of the time. As a barbarian, you're probably not going to be that great in doing these things. And there's probably also going to be challenges which want you to then, for example, reach a certain amount in both guile and power, for example. These would be extended challenges where you need to make sure that you need at least 5 guile and 6 power to intimidate your opponent, something like that. These are things that we'll work on later, but yeah. Destiny cards! Because they're almost a Destiny's Child. Oh. These cards are silver, because that's how they are in my mind. A little bit longer. Actually, why not just do this? Are silver, and put you back to normal. No highlight, and your text is gonna be black. God damn it. Work with me! Ugh. And work basically as chokers. They can be used on any challenge and as any card of any worth, but after using them, they go straight to the GM's pool of Destiny cards. All the players on the table always have the same amount of Destiny cards on the table. So if there's 4, even if there's a few to the GM and a few to the players, there will always be 4, no matter what. And I think it might actually be a nice idea to have the same amount of Destiny cards as the same amount of players. So if you have 6 players, you'll have 6 Destiny cards. Based on that. All the players on the table always have the same amount of Destiny cards on the table. Their allocation is always in flux though. All the players, player characters Woo! Thank you, Wolfie! Thank you for the host! Awesome! For those who came over from Wolfie's channel, we are doing some game design. So I hope you're nerdy enough for that. All the player characters share the same pool of Destiny cards. And the GM has their own pool. There we go. Well, Wolfie, even if they didn't, I'm still happy you did it. It's very nice of you. Let's see. And at the end, the GM has their own pool. There are as many Destiny cards as there are players. There we go. Card allocation. So what we probably want to do is have the higher worth cards be less common in the deck, obviously. So there's a lower chance of people actually getting them. It's obviously in the end it's still random for the amount that you get, and that's what you use your stat points for, so you can get as many of those cards as possible in the hope that you get higher cards of them. So I think what we want to do here is actually build it up into segments. Zeros are going to be special, so I don't think we want too many zeros. So let's start with 1 to 9, which is then 1, 2, and 3 being one segment, 4, 5, and 6 being one segment, and 7, 8, and 9 being one segment. We probably don't want a 30, 30, 30, 30 for that. So let's see. Split it up into 4 segments. I don't need to write that much. Segment 1 is zeros. Segment 2 is 1 to 3. Segment 3 is 2 to 4 to 6, and then the last one is 7 to 9. There we go. Might want to make a table out of this. Wait. Insert table. Where are my tables? Here's them. Table for 4. There we go. Ugh, you're way too big. You're so ugly. But you're functional. Damn it. 1, 2, 3, 4 to 6, and 7 to 9. I don't want any of you. Stop it. Well, actually, you guys can stay like that. However, all of these, your asses go white. Because I don't want to see you. So we are going to do some percentages here. Let's put a row above. Segment. And then percent. In a deck. You guys get removed. There we go. So normal allocation would obviously be 30, well, basically 1/3, so 33.33333, blah blah blah. Because we have zeros, we cannot do that to begin with. So if we remove and if we make 30 out of all of them, we have 10% left. So let's for now just put 10% here, just to have something to work with. We probably want to lower this because, if, for example, we'd have 100 cards, that means we'd have 10 zeros, which is a lot. So let's make this 5 actually. 5%, then I want 4 to 6 to be the mains. So these will have the largest amount of, well, you have the highest chance of grabbing these. So probably what we're gonna do is if we do, let's see, we do 50% here, and we have 5% from the other one, so that's 55% in total. Then we have 45 left to do for the other ones. Which 45 can then be put into because the moment we give a higher chance to get them lower cards than higher cards, that says something on a mechanical level. That's something we need to think about. I think I actually want to keep the same amount for 1 to 3 as for 7 to 9. Because 1s would be shitty as well. You don't want to have a lot of 1s. They're just there for... They basically represent bad luck in your life. You could just have an off day, so you get 1s. So you need to spend more cards. Because you don't want to spend more cards, because that loses your energy throughout the day. So if you just, for simplicity's sake, say 20 here, for example, 20 here. Why don't all of you stop being... There! Stop it! I just want to select these, damn it! There we go. So if we just, for simplicity's sake, okay, 20 here, then we have 20 plus 20 is 40 is 45, so we have 55% left for this. Which I think might be a bit big of a difference. So if we make this 45, then we have 5% here extra and 5% here extra. But obviously already have the other 5%. So we do 45. Oh, then no, actually this works out, yeah. So this would be 100% total. I think this could be a pretty little allocation. And if we then subdivide it into their other systems. Ba-da-bum-bum-bum-bum. Or do we just want to do it easy and say that all of the chances are the same? You know what I'm gonna do? I am going to take a quick little break to get myself something to drink, because I noticed that my throat is getting parched, which is never a good thing because I'm talking way too much, as per usual. So how about we take a quick 3-minute little break? I'm gonna get something to drink. You guys can get something to drink, take toilet breaks or whatever. And in the meantime, I'll think about how many cards I want in every segment, because that's gotta be fun. See you soon. Whoop. There we are again. I don't know how much too late I was, but I came as quick as possible. And in the meantime, Level Up Gaming, thank you for following. I hope you like the stream. And if this isn't your sort of thing that you're interested in, just wait until the next stream, because then we'll be shitting our pants up again. With some layers of fear. Not just some weird kind of fetish thing. Don't think about that, please. Oh well. I hope you all haven't missed me too much. I hope it wasn't too late. I don't know, I haven't checked the time. Sorry. I'll do that next time. But I have coffee, which is a good thing. And I'm gonna rule the galaxy. Oh, I need to shout a bit harder, sorry. There we go, music is down. Excusez-moi. I didn't notice. What I should actually do is, why don't I just put the music down there, put the music up there, make it a bit louder for myself again. There we go. Now I would probably notice if the music is loud or not. Because otherwise... Yeah, I'd notice. Good. Sorry for all the music bullshit. Oh well. You know, I've been thinking about this whole card thing. I didn't get far yet. Oh well. In case you didn't hear it, Level Up Gaming, thank you for following. I hope you like what we're doing here, and otherwise we'll do some more games sometime soon where we don't talk about them instead of just just play them, basically. We do that as well here. In the meantime, I was doing these segments, and what I think is I'm gonna make a bell curve out of them. Because that would probably be best. Now, let's see if there's some easy tool where I can create a bell curve. Bell curve. Creating bell curve creation. There we go. Damn it. It's not really a easy way to do this, is there? God damn it. Well, basically what we have is 95%. And we just want to keep on halving it, right? No, that's not how it works. God damn it! Math! Why is math so hard? I need the rest of the math squad. Daryl, go get the rest of the math squad. I need them. I need them to do math for me. Let's first just write this down. Distribute 1 to 9. And I once again cannot type. There we go. In a bell curve format where you have the highest chance to get a 5. And I guess I'll do some research on how to create a quick and easy bell curve in the meantime. But I know this, so that's just some work that I'll do in the back. I think we need to start thinking about how to create stats, because we know how we create stats, then we also know how many cards we would need in the deck for everyone. Because I kind of like the idea that you can just buy one package where all the cards are in and that's all you need for a game. Because I think that's a lot nicer than the way how dice work, for example, where you need to buy dice for everyone, for everybody to basically have a nice time playing RPGs. Because I know they say you can play Dungeons & Dragons and things like that with just one set of dice, but nobody wants to do that, come on. We all know that if you play D&D or things like that, you want your own set of dice, otherwise fuck that shit, basically. So I think with this it would be nice if we can make a package for everyone. So I don't know if we then end up with like 100 or 200 cards. We'll have to see. I mean, I know about all the dice thing myself. I mean, dice and dice and more dice. I got all the dice. I don't even have that many yet, but still. So let's see. How to create stats. And first off, stats don't matter for what you want to do. However, some classes have stat presets. Can also switch out with moves. Because I don't know yet if I want to make full-on classes. I'm thinking I might actually go with moves you can buy with like money resources. Basically, you go into town and you spend your money resource on training. And with the training, you can get a specific move. And then for moves, you need to have first have a prerequisite before you can do that move. So that's one way I'm thinking about it. Because if you do it like that, then once again, we can basically set the whole setting thing open to whatever you want it to be it sci-fi or be it fantasy, things like that. But on the other hand, having classes is a lot easier for your players because they know what they can do, and it saves them a lot of time looking through possibly a massive list of moves. Not that I'm planning on making a massive list, at least not yet, but you never know where it turns out to. Yeah, level up gaming in a way, you have a point, but what I also want to think about is fights are scenes, not necessarily like how D&D works, where every little thing needs to be done. So you can spend an amount of points to do an amount of damage, for example, that are on the cards. What you also need to keep in mind is that, with the way how I'm thinking about it, is every time you run out of a deck, so for example your deck might be 15 cards, because that's what I set up in the last thing for deck here, I believe. Right here. Yeah. Just on an average deck, which I believe is for something along the lines of a level 1 character, you have about 15 cards. If you go through those 15 cards, you just grab all of them out of the discard pile, reshuffle them, remove one from play, and then you have the rest of the 14 cards left to continue on. So you can do that 14 times a day before you're unconscious. So there's actually quite a lot of cards that you can use on a day. And I honestly don't really think you're gonna need too many cards to get past combat or past the challenge, especially if you think about the end of a day being a reset point where you get all your normal energy cards back. Wounds obviously don't go away yet. So I think that somewhere around 10 to 15 for a level 1 character is a nice amount to have for the amount of cards you have in your deck. And then we need to think about how many cards you'll have in your hand, but that's for something for later then. What if you start off with 5 in everything, and every point you lower in one is a point you can spend somewhere else, in all essence. So if I have 5 power, 5 G, and 5 guile and 5 swiftness, and I remove 2 guile, I can, for example, put my power up to 7 and still have 5 swiftness. But then if I want to have fate to give me some random things to make things easier, I have to spend, for example, 2 power, lower my power back to 5, for example, to gain 1 fate. And fate would then be the chance of me to get any card I want from any type. Well, any type of card I want, not any card I want. I think that would give you a nice basis. Let's see, let's write this down. And I think I indeed want to go with moves, not with classes. However, some moves have stat presets, and then Alt-M this. Wait. Moves could also be classes. There we go. Everyone starts with 5 points in every stat. In every main stat, because it's not in Fate. Except Fate. Fate starts at 0. Players can then detract points from 1 to add to another. E.g. for the P4 Guile 6 and Swift 5. Fate 0. Formatting is hard, guys. Formatting is super hard. There we go. Every fate point, every point in fate costs you 2 points instead of 1. E.g. P3 down 5 plus 5 fate 1. I think we actually want to start off with 1 fate. Everybody has at least 1 fate. I'd say 1 fate is considered to be slightly low. Or what we could do is just start off everyone with 4 and start them off with 2. Yeah, maybe everyone starts off with 4 points and 2 fate points. And then if you really want 1 super high stat because you get way more cards, you can spend those 2 fate points into 4 points or something else. Yeah. 4 points in every main set except Fate. Fate set is 2. 2. Players can detract 1 point from another. 3, 5, 2. Every point in Fate costs you 2 points instead of 1 point. So then, if this was 4, 4, 4, just 4. I think that's a bit more balanced. So in that case, if I want another fate point, I, for example, have Guile 2 and Fate 3. There we go. And every time the players level, they can get 1 more point in any stats. Tally points in Fate. So that's what the players know when they get an extra Fate stat. That or we don't work with levels at all. We could kind of work in the Shadowrun system, But you don't have levels, you just have skills and you can up them. And give something akin to karma, which they can then spend on getting more points. And it would then make sense to do it in the same way as a karma does, basically. So that if, for example, I have a power of 4 and I want to make a power of 5 out of it, I need to spend 5 points. And if I then have but we double it for fate. So if I have a fate of 2 and I want to make a fate of 3, then I need to spend 6 points in there. I think that would, yeah, that would work way better. That would work way better. And then they don't level, they can also spend points into getting more cards in their hand. Yeah, because then you just have a separate hand stat basically, and your hand stat starts also out at 4. Amazing. Starts also out at 4, and you can then in the same way spend 5 points to make sure that you can hold 5 cards in your hands. And that way we still need to find out how much experience you actually need to be getting, but I think that would be a way better system. I think that might be nice, yeah. And what you can do then is if you have certain skills for which you need, for example, there's the skill, I don't know, double slash, let's say, or something like that. And to use double slash, you normally need to spend either, let's say, 16. Well, no, you need to make a total of 16, and it can be with power and with swiftness, for example. So I'll make little move cards then, and then there's green and red on it, and it says 16. And if you want, you can then spend experience points on that skill to lower the amount you need to use it. So if you want to spend all your stats on that, all your experience points on that, you can basically just use double slash then at only like 5 eventually. Which makes you the one stupid ass good double slash guy. Basically, if you want to be that. And that way would also actually be pretty easy for people to just make moves. Because I don't know what your game's gonna be like. I can never create a game that will do everything for you, but I can make a move system where it's very easy for you to create a move. Literally just give it a name, tell people what it does, and just slap a number in it for the amount of points that you need to make with your cards. And you just need to make in the GM section, you just need to make a little section what the average amount of numbers for every move is. Which is what we're going to find out with math and playtesting, but still, if your average card is a 5 on everything, then you can say that up to 10 is normal, past 10 is harder, and past 15 is going to be super hard, because you can equivalent it in basically in 5s. So if it's 5 or lower, you only need 1 card. If it's 10 or lower, you generally need 2 cards. If it's 15 or lower, well, up to 15 basically, then you need 3 cards, and so you can keep on going. And the more cards you need to use, the more special the move is. In essence. Right? At least that's what I think. And then there could be special cards for the zeros as well. So those are super special moves. Whatever, because the zeros are going to be quite uncommon in all other ways. I think... because yeah, if you have 25% of the free cards, then you generally want to spend it as something along the lines of like 2/3, and then 3/6, and then whatever's left, or something. Let's just quickly get some pen and paper and see what this would work out into. If I were, example, for this have 18 cards, then 2/3 of that would be 12. So that would be in the free category, that would be 12 cards. Then out of those cards, out of the total of it, 18, half of that is 9. So 2 would have 9 cards, and then we have well, no, out of half what's left then, right? Because we have 6 left. Math, why are you so... I should have paid more attention to math class. I'm not even that bad at math, I just don't know all the rules and arithmetics anymore. The algorithms and bullshit. But yeah, if we just make this a different total in here, so 12 plus 6 would be 18 plus 9 would be 27, so if we say 27 cards... No, that's not how it works, damn it. Ugh, math. Fuck, I'll find this out somewhere else. So, fuck leveling. There is no leveling. Let's go to the... By spending cards from your deck and increasing those stats and your hand size by spending EXP. There are no levels. Just stats. Restrictions. Something along those lines. So yeah, that's creating stats. So there's actually an extra step then. There's a hand step. So caps hand. Blah 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 blah. And I cannot type again. This is the amount of cards you can hold in your hand at the same time. Players always refill their hand up to this number unless they have no more cards in their deck. Go. Something along those lines. Yeah. So now we need to create an extra stat here, obviously. Because then we also have hand 4. Yay! So that also means that if you were really wanting to have like that massive hand from the beginning, you could just spend points to get that higher hand stat, or just lose fate to heighten your hand. Because that could mean that you don't want to be someone that... You could basically become... is there an English term for that? Jack of all trades, that's it. You could basically become a jack of all trades by having barely any actual good stats, but just getting a shit big hand at the beginning, so you always have a card for something, basically. That sounds nice. And then here I need to put hand 4 again. Because those are your stats. Okay. Let's see. Improvement of the South. Oh. Character improvement goes along a system similar to Shadowrun. Players can spend EXP on let's see. The players can spend experience points on enhancing any of their stats. To improve a stat, a player needs to spend same amount of XP as the stat with total +1. Just do it like this. Oh! Did I forget to go... See? This is why I'm horrible at this. I'm using Studio. So let me transition there for you. I'm using Studio. So basically, what I was looking at was these two things switched around. And here I was thinking that I was on the screen on this side for some weird reason. God damn it, I'm stupid. There we go. I've failed myself. I'm sorry. It should be fixed now. You can see what I'm doing again. Well, if you're any of those people that listen to this as a podcast kind of thing, you have no idea what just happened. At least I hope that what I was talking about was concise enough to know what I was doing. Is there anything that you missed out on, Daryl, that you want to see? Because I don't know. I mean, I've talked about all of it at least, so that's something. I'm actually gonna remove this. There we go, that's better. Oh, okay. To improve a stat, a player needs to spend the same amount of experience as that stat +1. With the exception... exception being Fate, where you take the stat +1 times 2. So yeah, that seems good enough. Let's drink this coffee before it gets cold. Your hand also being stats can be improved in the same way. Let's see. So the next thing would be then, because the one thing that I'm thinking about right now is those moves, because I think those moves are a good idea. I want to put those moves in. The question is just, do I want to create a second rewarding structure, for example money, for them to buy the moves with? Because it would give you because it's a bit of a big question, because I don't want this game to obviously become mass murder and take their money. I want it to be more open than that. So what would you need to do to earn the resource to gain skills or moves or whatever you want to call them? Let's see. Because we could quite easily, obviously, make it money. But then what would you need to do to get that money? If I leave the system open enough and I'm good at my job, which I hope I am, but we'll have to see if I actually am. But if I'm good at my job, I can create a system where you can gain money through more than just combat, obviously. You could be Tomb Raiders, going in tombs while being sexy as all shit with small little pants on and things like that, if you want to be that, and get your money that way. But maybe you're smugglers, for example. Maybe you're assassins and get paid for jobs, and in that way you could quite easily set up a money structure where you can indeed get all those things just from that. Why are you not working? Damn it. Work! Work. But I just don't know for certain if I can... Should I make a secondary awards structure? That's kind of the question here. I think I should, at least for now, because it's too much to do all of this with experience. You can't just earn it through experience as well. You need... But in a way... I'll just put it in for now, and I'll keep it as something that needs to be seen if it's a good structure or not. Moves! Moves can be bought with currency. Whatever you think that is. Be it coins, credits, rocks, or jabs, or sticks. Maybe you should make seashells as a little nod to the mouse guard game of Adam. Once a move is procured, you pay someone. Maybe you could make a system where you could procure moves via play. Like if you do something a lot of times, you could have the GM make a move for it, things like that. But you could also just go to someone and let them teach you a move. And doing it through play would take way longer than just buying it, basically. That would probably be something. With currency or time. You pay someone to train you in that move, giving you its basic form. Or you can gain a move via play. Oh, we could do a thing like how Burning Wheel does it. Burning Wheel, if you don't have a move, you have an obstacle that's twice as high. We obviously can't go for a twice as high obstacle, but we can do like a +5. Where basically every move in the game is open to anyone, but but the amount of points you need to spend to do it is like 5 higher than normal, which basically means an extra card at all times. So you're going faster free. Yeah, no, I think that works. Via play, by using it a lot. I think it's good. That works. Yes, I like it. Ha! When someone uses a move that they haven't procured yet, they are... Oh, and you can actually quite easily create like a system where you have 3 different types or 4 different types of move usage, where you have basic, experienced, and pro, and then inexperienced as the first one, where you take the +5. Yeah. Moves are what's the word? What's the English word? Damn it! This is where I sometimes hate not being an actual English person. But your mind just gives out on you like, work with me, brain. Let's see. divided. Moves are divided into 4 categories. There we go. Moves are divided into 4 categories. Then we have basic, experienced, and pro. Is there a better word for inexperienced? Let's see. Inexperienced. Unpracticed, untrained, untutored, unschooled, unqualified, unskilled, amateur. Amateur! Amateur is nice. Amateur! There we go. Everyone can do a move at amateur level, but must suffer the consequences of a higher. Let's just +5 this in case of a higher difficulty. I need to find a good word for that as well. Because it's not obstacle. Well, you could use obstacle, but then it feels like I'm ripping just shit off straight away. On the other end of a colored target. Just call it target number for now. Target number. No, because you're spending it. Let's see. Can I find a good term? Why not just use cost? Yeah. Of a higher cost. There we go. Anyone who has bought the move, and you could make it as easy as the. Well, I can't use cost because we have money. Shit. As the target. Let's just use target. Anyone who's bought the move can then use it as base level target. Acquired, because you don't need necessarily to buy it. Acquired the move, can use it as base level. I have obviously done it wrong again. Is it with a C? Seriously? I never thought I was with a C. Oh fuck, I did it wrong. Ah! I am so bad at this. Define acquired. There we go. Well, I guess I was wrong. Anyone who acquired this... Shut up! You stupid motorcycle scooter thing. You make way too much noise. Anyone who has acquired the move can use it as at base level, normal target. Through extended usage of this skill and paying the experience tribute, you can gain the experienced level, which is -5 target. Well, actually, no, maybe. Because I was thinking of doing experience, doing -5 and then pro -2. But you probably want to do -2 and then -5 because you want people to spend it until the last version. See what I'm doing there? So experience level -2 target, and eventually pro level -5 target. Total -7. Because the 0 cards are going to be used for something else. Which I still don't even know what it's going to be, but sure. We'll figure that out at some point, I guess. Let's see. The cost of a skill. Yeah, the cost of a skill is. It's probably gonna be a times 10, maybe a times 20. But yeah, it's probably gonna be a times 10, maybe a times 100. Cost of a skill is its base target basic times 10. There we go. So a target 15. Move cost 150 GB. Improvements to experienced and pro. Can also be bought. 20 currency, because we haven't set on the currency yet. Maybe we should just set currency to C for now, yeah. 20 C, and 50 C, there we go. So that also sets kind of the amount of money we want to hand out. So we don't want to make it like massive numbers, because stuff like Pathfinder and D&D is stupid with like hundreds of thousands. Let's see. So yeah, I think, but this can only be done during downtime. And with the amount of moves you can have, because in my mind you can literally have like 100 moves or something. You would never want it, especially not being experienced at all of them, because that would take so much time, experience, and everything. And yeah, then the experience cost for it. Do we want an experience cost, or do we just want a time cost? That's also kind of a question. Because the more times you do it, the better you get at it. Obviously. But you could just have like basically just little dots on the bottom side of a skill card, or a move card, I mean, and you just can just stamp them in for the amount of times you've done them. And at some point just gain the improved version. But I don't know if you should spend experience then on improving it, because you're already spending time, and time is also a resource, obviously. And every time you're using it, you spend points on it, things like that. And obviously also, if you're already going to pay a cost to become experienced at it, then don't really go also pay experience. That's just going to be shitty. Or we'll just say that you can't even use currency to get better at it. You can use, you might be capable of using currency to get another. Well, no, it's kind of stupid actually to use currency to become experienced or pro, because that's just using it. I go to school to get a basic version of a skill, of a move, and then via me keeping on using it and getting better at it, and getting experience with the tools and all that, that's when I eventually level up and become experienced and then pro at it. So it doesn't matter how much money you throw at something, you'll never get better at it anyway. So I think the whole money cost should be gone. It's just I think you should either earn it via play, or I think we'll just use the dots, the dots system. Like I said before, you need a certain amount of dots to improve upon it, and you can also spend experience points instead of those dots to get there. I think that might be a smart idea. I think that might work. And then we need to figure out how many times you need to use it. Because it sounds too little to just say, for example, double it. Because just using it 4 times would make you experienced. I mean, if I use Photoshop 4 times, doesn't mean I'm experienced. Let's see. I think eventually that needs to be playtested anyway. Yeah. Let's see. So we'll keep that. Improvement to the skill can be attained either via spending experience or via spending XP. Just make it a term word, or by using the move a lot. So now we want to figure out how many times you want to have used something before you get good at it. I think if we want to just make it move, improvement, scale. I think what we would want to just do is set a little thing with. In total, I think what we're gonna do, if it's. You gain a +5 for it. I think 10 times is a little bit less. 15 times, and 6 times. I mean, 15 times can, unless you're really hard pressed to do it a lot, you can have a lot of moves. I think 50 times is good. So I think you'd need to use it 6 times before it becomes a basic skill. Or maybe 10 times, because you want to let people buy them. Because that's one of the main reasons why you have money, is to buy moves. Moves and equipment, probably. So yeah, you probably want to then spend money on getting the first one done. So the first one should be pretty long. So I guess 10 times. Then 6 times to get it to experienced. And then another 12 to get it to pro. And after pro there's no further anymore. So that's 30 in total. So if, let's see if I can table, insert table. Can I make 30? No. I want to insert a column to the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that should be 30. You're going to have to be blocks. There we go. Oh. I want you smaller. Smaller. Stop these. Table properties. I want no minimum row height. Fuck you. There we go. Okay. Can I now make you smaller? God damn it! Table properties. Minimum row height is 0.1, with cell padding being 0.1 as well, which should probably go to 0.2, but we'll see. There we go, that's better. Now, can I now merge cells? Yes. Let's see, so we want 10 of them at first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these are all merged. This is inexperienced. Amateur. Amateur. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Merge cells for basic. Then I guess I'll have to add one more. Means that one column to the right, okay. And this would be merge all these cells, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14? Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Basic level on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's too much. Delete column. And delete column now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I start off here. So I have to overspend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They become basic, yes. But this one will be filled in. So let's just give this one color of that one. Sure. Amateur, basic, experienced, and pro. I know. There we go. Move D. Move improvement scale. Every time you use the move, you can mark 1 square. Or however I make it look once I actually use the move cards. Once you enter an area, you gain the move at that level. Yay! I think this progression track looks nice. Yeah. When you get it at that level, you can also spend 1 experience point to. Now let's see. If I want to go from amateur to pro straight away, I'd need to spend 30. With 30 experience, you can buy a lot of stat upgrades. So that seems about right. You can also spend 1 experience point to also fill in 1 square. This can only be done during downtime. Okay.
Slowly down through the fire, into this darkness I fall.
That seems nice.
Presence right here beside
I should actually stop looking on what the zero card is. Good luck cooking, Daryl. I'll see you later. The next Friday night stream is gonna be Friday, I believe. Take a look at my event. It should be in there. I believe it's Friday. And I'll see you tonight. When we are going to do our awesome stream of death. And shit of that. Well, no, it's actually not a stream. I'm streaming too often as of late. I use stream for everything now. Great stuff. I'll speak tonight, Daryl. Good luck with cooking. The zero card. All the streams! Yes! All the streams! I need more! So much more! The zero card. Oh. Fuck this song. It's too much. I'm gonna put on some other cool music. Let me see something that I can actually start playing. I want some of... Where are you? There we are. I want you. There we go. That's better. Yes, the zero card. What do I want the zero card to do? I think zero card can either be used as a force 10 card. And I think it's nice to use the numbers as the column force. Of their own column. But I need to set it up in a way where I actually, yeah, because to be fair, I don't know that well yet how we're gonna do it. I probably want to make a system where it's easy to explain how it exactly works. But in all essence, what you can do is I set up a challenge as a GM, and you're like, well, we are very fucking ill-equipped to do this. I play a 0 card and I deflect this challenge. We don't overcome it. We push it to the side, and I can be. We probably look at the color of the card that you're using to see how you do it. If it's either with force or anything like that. But what you basically do is, for example, someone asks you a hard question about something you did. Maybe you murdered someone, and there's a detective coming after you to basically question you if you are the one who did it. So you can play a 0 card to maybe in the fiction we say that a shootout happens close by. So we're not out of trouble, but something else is happening which makes us deflect what is happening right at that moment. Maybe we set it up so that the detective gets a call from a colleague of him, which is then about something else, or maybe the colleagues found evidence linking them to the crime. So we go that light challenge and we move on towards maybe a fight challenge or an escape challenge or anything like that. We move on the scene to the next thing, to another thing that would have distracted this challenge. Optional. Let's see, optional. The deflection goes well for the players when they use a 0 card of the same main color as the challenge. I think that's a nice little extra to have there. Yeah, I think that's a nice use for the 0 card, like a deflection thing. Like, fuck you, we're not doing this. I don't know, 5% might be a bit too much then, no, but we'll see. So I think what we'll do for now is, I'd say the maximum amount of players in this should be probably 6, but let's say that it goes up to 8. And we'll have, well, that's 8 plus the GM, so that's 9. You probably don't want to play with that many people. No, you don't want to play that many. Let's say that maximum is 5, so that's for 6 players, then so we have 6 Destiny cards. Then if we have a base of 4, then you probably want to block it off at like 10. It's the highest. Stats. I'm drifting away from you. Maximum. Oh, 4 I need. No stats can raise
for you.
Beyond
this tragedy comes to life
10
out of the blue. And I don't know why, but I feel most alive when I'm searching for these signs of life. In the hopes
because to go from 9 to 10, you already need to spend 10. And the highest you could get in one stat if you really wanted it from 1. Actually, if you use all your fates up 1, you can already go to 8.
Oh, I'm drifting away from this galaxy inside of me.
Let's go for an natural. All stats have a natural cap of 10.
This fantasy, it's guiding me. It takes me away from you. And I'm drifting
Magic, cybernetics. think that's nice. I might put it at 12. Because seeing as how quickly, if you want, you can get to 10. Which would be kind of stupid because you don't want zero fate. Let's put it at 12 for now. Because you also have to think about the probability of getting the right cards, things like that. Which I'm bad at doing the math for. So I'm kind of hoping that turns out right. So yeah. So what we're done, I think, gonna do is obviously you're gonna need a shitload of cards for all of this. So if you go for an average of 10 for every stat, and then hand and fate obviously don't. Yeah, I think we can go for so we can get 3 cards from that. We're probably gonna need like 15 for every stat at least. Welcome to game design, people, where a lot of it is just thinking, what the hell am I gonna do next? Because it all needs to make sense in a way eventually. So for one person, making it all work, if you could have like 15 per, that's already 45. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 100 cards per stat. Which is a lot, but that's basically that is. Oh, I'll be right back. I need to go get some shit. I have returned! Sorry about that. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, I was expecting at some point the package to come in, and since I live 2 floors up, I need to run like shit to get down. But, in good news, more coffee! So what I was actually thinking while I was running down is I think I want to start off with a 4-player set, basically. Where you have the cards for the plays and then whatever is left for the GM. And I'm thinking about not even having to use letting the GM have cards. So then you're giving the GM some options on how to set targets which the others need to make, basically. But yeah. What I was thinking about then making a set for 4 people, 3 to 4 people, and then people can buy the expansion pack for 5 or 6 people. And if I do the math while I'm balanced as well, then people can just keep on buying the expansion pack for more skin. So what I think is then 4 Destiny cards, which is for 4 people. I'd say the GM doesn't get their own Destiny card. Well, what I'd probably say is you have a pool of 3 when the game starts for the players and a pool of 1 for the GM. And that will just go in between. That's mostly playtesting. Then what I think is probably around 50 cards each, which have all then been balanced along the scale that I just said before. So it would mean that if we use 5%, 10% being 5, so you have basically 2 0 cards of everyone in every pile. So I think that makes the 0 cards special enough, in my opinion. Could also use 40 for this, of course. Yeah, I think this works, and then with every expansion pack there is 1 extra 0 in there, for example, and 1 extra 9, because you'd have probably around the same amount of 9s. No, probably a little bit more. You have the same amount of as 1s as 9s. I think, yeah. So yeah, I think somewhere around that scale. Then what I know is I'm probably gonna need to work a bit on the inside of things, and I'm gonna need to do a lot of math. So a lot of the things I'm gonna do from now on is gonna be very boring. Like super ass boring, which is not gonna be fun to stream. So I think I'm actually gonna call quits to the stream right about now. Because most of the shit that I'm... Hey Stony! You came in just as I was about to say that I'm probably gonna quit somewhere right about now. It's going pretty well. I have a lot of good ideas. Do you want me to walk? Do you want me to walk you through what I've had so far? What I have been? Because if you want to, I can. I technically have set the streaming time for today till 5, but like I was saying, most of the shit that I'm gonna do now seems like it's gonna be pretty boring to look at. It's just gonna be me doing math and figuring shit out and how many cards I exactly want and everything like that. But if you want, I can walk you through what I have right now, because you've been lurking and probably not paying attention too much. It's really starting to feel like a mini game to me, so that's nice. I already kind of know what I'm doing. I know one thing I can do actually. One thing I don't have yet is experience. Experience. There we go. Because in my idea, I like the idea from like Dungeon World where you earn experience by failing, because you learn from your mistakes. But, and I get that notion, but I do still believe more in learning from doing shit. And there is not really a failure, because the one thing about this game is there is no real failure, you know? Your only failure is basically running out of cards, which, if you play this game smart, shouldn't happen as much. So, the question is then, should we put certain things, or the challenge that we put against the player, should we put them in certain squares, like normal, easy, normal, difficult, and super hard and shit like that, and should we give experience points based upon those? So if your team succeeds in, for example, doing a difficult check, all of them get 3 experience points, for example. Would it work like that? That is a bit basic, but I think that would be the easiest way to gain experience points. I don't see a lot of other ways at least, let's say it like that. I don't know, what do you think, Stone? Do you have any ideas on how to award experience for this? Or you have a very big delay, or I have a very big delay. One of the two. But yeah. I can also start awarding experience points for the amount of... That would be kind of interesting, awarding experience points for the amount of cards that you've discarded in a session. Because that would force people to keep on doing shit, you know? Force them forward to take risks, everything like that, and to keep on working on things like that. So, and it would be a very easy way to tally your experience points at the end of a session. Just how many cards have you discarded? I'm gonna write that one down because it sounds way more interesting, and I'll just keep ideas of like the challenge system. At the end of a session, players are rewarded the same amount of experience as the amount of cards they remove from play. So this means that every time a day ends and all players regain their cards, players regain also gain experience. Oh, and also need to write out the wound section. Ha! I have so much shit to do that I forgot I had to do. Ah! Players also gain experience. Experience. Shorter version. Let's see. Shorter version. Every time the players get to put cards back into their deck. Keep in mind that this can quickly ramp up the EXP gain, especially at higher levels. However, they also need to spend more, so it might work out.
Enjoy the silence in the rain. When all my troubles
Alternate
wash
version.
away.
Create
Bring me peace and still my pain.
certain difficulties
And have me live through another
challenges.
day.
PM can produce and award speed-based difficulty. So I really like the first version for multiple reasons. By the way, good job, Stoney, for getting all those gold pieces. You could even ask me a question, and if you keep on working on it, you can make yourself a regular, which I already are. Okay, that's about it. Yeah, I like the first version because, first of all, it takes a load of the GM. The GM doesn't have to keep tally of what kind of challenges he throws against them, anything like that. He can, obviously, if he really wants to, because at the end of the day, he's a GM, he can say, gain some extra experience because you did some awesome shit. But yeah, I really like the system where you gain experience from the cards that you have discarded before. Because what happens there is that experience could be very low if you do nothing. Because that's the whole thing. The more you do things, the more cards you spend, the more cards get discarded at the end. So the more you do, the more risks you take, the more experience you get. Due to the cards becoming more over time because your deck gets bigger, there's a bigger chance of you actually spending cards so you get more experience over time once you reach higher level, which is good because once you reach higher level, all your shit is going to be so much more expensive. So that's also good. And like I said, it keeps a load out of the GM's hand because otherwise the GM needs to keep a tally of every challenge he threw against the players to see how much experience he get at the end. Which is horrible. But that would be putting so much more effort into his hands than is needed, or there, or you know what I mean. So I really like this. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with that system. It just needs to be played test to see how many cards you actually use during such a session. Yeah, I really like the idea. And let's see, wounds. Throughout the campaign, players might gain wounds, be they physical or metaphysical. Wounds can be categorized into conversions, lights, let's just use D for this. Moderate wounds and severe wounds. When a player gains a wound, have to move as many cards from the deck as their wound penalty shows. These cards do not return upon rest, but only once the wound has been taken care of. Wounds can be anything from a stab wound to a wound amputation. And my question is, do I even want to have a system where people can die? I probably do because I have wounds to begin with. A player dies when dying one, so don't know which one I'm going to use yet. A player dies when they have too many dark system. They can have 3 minor wounds, light wounds, 2 moderate wounds, and 1 severe wound. If any of these are full, if any of these are full, they get pushed towards the next wound level. Level 4 wound is death. Because if you have a level 3 wound and you take another one, it goes over that and you die. Done. Easy. That seems a normal way of dying. Then we have, let's see, dying number 2. Let's see. She could get like a dying condition once someone is dying. But there's no initiative, so there's no round, so you can easily do something like that. No. If a person is full of wounds, no. If the person has a third level wound and has no cards in their deck anymore, they die. That's all for me. Anymore, they die. So basically, whenever you're in a situation where you have a third level wound, which is going to be hard to get anyway, but once you have them, and you overexert yourself to the point where you have no cards anymore, where you would normally pass out, you then just die. That's over. We make it nearly impossible for you to die, kind of in the same way as the Blades in the Dark does. But that's also kind of the point, because the game is not about dying, the game is about being smart with your skills and overcoming any challenge along the way. And exerting your force over and over until you're just too tired to go on. So both of these would make dying hard, and that's a good thing. Yeah, and I can't really think of a third one right now, so I think that this is going to be it for now, because I don't want to work on a currency system yet. Because that means I need to think about inventory and things like that. I'll just put these down here, like inventory, let's see, currency, But those are things I'm gonna think of later. So I don't want to think of it right now. Then I'll have to figure out how many cars I want to fill it out. Yeah. Small expansion. Add enough cards for 2 players. Let's see, just talk about half of that. Yeah, that's something. I need to be capable of following it. So, 54 would be 52. Right, 52. 54. So I might make 52 rounds of it. That works because we can quarter that. E.g. 13 cards per... Wait, I don't have to do all this bullshit. Give it a 50. Fuck that shit. We're adding 2 players. So that would be 25 cards per type and 2 extra destiny cards. And then it's up to your own stupid ass how many players want to play. Easy. Cool. I think we got pretty far today. We did a lot. We have a very clear idea now what the game's going to be eventually. It's just now doing a lot of the, well, the basic stupid work, basically. All the boring math problems that you need to figure out to do the balance properly, then making a nice little thing about it. And now, obviously, I know that I don't have too many people in my community. But if you know anyone that would be interested in trying this out at some point, if I've made a proper game out of this for the first playtest, please let me know. I'm always looking for playtesters because playtesting is stupid for a lot of people and it takes a lot of effort and patience, so it's awesome if I can get some playtesters. I'm obviously not going to give a date yet when this will be done, so just keep an eye on the Twitch and on the Twitter, the 2 things that I use to update everything for anything of that is coming out. And I'm probably going to put this eventually on my portfolio page, beddigital.com, so you can just also find it there if you're interested. There we go, that should be easier. This music itself is a bit louder than planned. But yeah, hi Muffin! Bye Muffin! I was planning on stopping, so yeah. I spent the last, let's see, 2.5 hours on creating a game. I can talk you through this at some point if you're interested in what it's all about, or just watch the VOD. Should be interesting. But yeah. I'm sorry, Muffin. I'm sorry. But we'll be talking tonight, so it's fine. We'll talk about it. But everything that I'm gonna do right now for this is just gonna be stupid, boring ass math that nobody wants to see. Because I need to figure out how many cards I need to make and things like that. So believe me, you don't want to see that. But yeah, if you're interested in this, watch the video and I can talk you through it a bit once we have our chat tonight. And I can appreciate sort of you can. I can imagine you would appreciate stupid math, but it's you, so then I just get troll comments all day long, and I don't feel like doing that right now. But yeah, if you want to know what this is about, watch the VOD or talk to me tonight. And for everyone else that's still watching, keep an eye on Twitch and keep an eye on Twitter for updates on this. I'm trying to see if I can make something good looking out of this so we can have our first playtesting, because that would be awesome. I might actually see if I can create a tabletop sim mod for this, because that would be the easiest way for a lot of people to playtest it without having to buy the cards and everything like that. So we'll have to see. And Muffin, Don't worry, you'll get enough entertainment from me tonight because we're gonna make the characters. So hey, it's fine. For everybody else, thanks for hanging out. I know that these are more on the lurk level, kind of slightly boring, but hey, there's good music, so hey, who cares? But that's what work streams are about. Let me actually switch over to this. That's better. I've had fun. I've made leaps and bounds in the creation of this process, so that's amazing. I don't think I've done this much on any one game in such a short time, ever. So that's great. I hope to make something cool out of this. I hope to see all of you sometime soon again. But for now, I'll see you guys all Friday for the last stream of Layers of Fear. Or something along those lines. That one's at least already planned in. There might be more streams in the meantime. For that, you need to take a look at the Twitter. But that one's gonna be there at least. Friday night. Put it in your agenda or anything like that. I'll see you then. For now, thank you for hanging out. And I'll see you next time.